The Laws of Creation. Spiritual Principles to Live By. Written by Anonymous. This book is free for all to share. Use, download, or make into your own audiobook and redistribute world and galaxy-wide. The only restriction is that its title and contents not be modified in any manner without permission from the author. You, the reader, should know of the power of the human spirit and beware of abusing it. Your own wisdom and the knowledge obtained through the information and shown throughout this book should contribute to the well-being of humankind. Creation is of a immeasurably higher standing than God and the ultimate Lord over the celestial suns and terrestrial humans, because creation is the immeasurable enigma. The human spirit holds immense power that should not be taken for granted or abused. This book aims to spread knowledge that enhances wisdom and contributes to greater well-being among all people. While divine beings play an important role, it is creation itself that holds the highest standing as the unfathomable source of all that exists, including those celestial and terrestrial entities. True understanding of creation's enigmatic nature can help guide us to respect the dignity and potential within every human life. With open and seeking minds, we can build a future of greater harmony, justice, and fulfillment for all. A celestial being fathered the first human on Earth through a terrestrial woman. This being was the son and protector of an extraterrestrial ruler who had traveled to Earth. The first human born of this union was the progenitor of the white human race named Adam. The details within provided derive from this account. Knowledge and wisdom encompass the dominion of the divine over humanity and celestial beings, as well as the omnipotence of creation and the immortality of the human spirit through reincarnation. To the far north, at the ends of the earth, lie mighty mountains whose peaks pierce the cold blue sky and disappear into the clouds. Far below, deep masses of snow cover the palace where leaders of humanity, celestial beings, and guardian angels reside. Within this grand palace once lived two exceptionally tall men with faces radiant, like the sun, and eyes burning like torches. They came from the constellation known as the Pleiades, symbolized by the Subaru automobile logo. With bodies as white as snow and hair as white as wool, their eyes shone beautifully. Even the divine and celestial beings are subject to the omnipotence of creation itself, which deserves reverence. In time, humanity will develop singing lights and chariots of fire to escape into the cosmos, as celestial beings do, who first taught early humans wisdom, knowledge, and instructed them to obey and live in harmony with the laws of nature. Humans do not always learn consistently or in accordance with their full potential, which is guided by the natural laws of the universe and exposed to inevitable experiences. As a result, humans can mislead their own consciousness, thinking, feelings, and actions. They can burden themselves with guilt and expose their inner selves to outside influences. In this way, the power of another person's consciousness can affect an individual for better or worse. At this stage in human development, as people begin to think and perceive more, they are in need of guidance. Thus, spiritual teachers have been sent by higher beings to teach humanity about the true natural order and knowledge regarding life. Without knowledge, wisdom, experience, and understanding, people may reject truths that have yet to be revealed. They may reject, harm, or kill those seeking and preaching truth. However, as the teachings of truth must be shared, spiritual teachers must endure great burdens and suffering from rejection. The healthy need no doctor, but the sick do. The knowledgeable need no teachings, but the ignorant do. Those not misled need no teachings, but those who were misled do. Recognize the falseness of wrong teachings, so you do not mislead those thirsting for truth. Blessed are those rich in spirit who recognize truth, for life is theirs. Blessed are those who endure hardship, for they shall thus recognize truth and be comforted. Blessed are the balanced in spirit, for they shall possess knowledge. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for truth and knowledge, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are those who live according to natural laws, for they live according to the design of the universe. Blessed are those with a clear conscience, for they need not fear. Blessed are those who know of the natural order, for they are not enslaved by false teachings. Blessed are the righteous, for nature is subject to them. Be of good cheer and take comfort during life's difficulties, as the next life will reward righteousness. As in times past, those who denounce truth still persecute prophets and will persecute you for seeking wisdom. You are the salt of the earth, If salt loses flavor, it is no longer useful except to be thrown out. The wise become light for the world. A city on a hill cannot stay hidden, nor does one light a candle only to hide it. Its purpose is to illuminate. Likewise, your knowledge and understanding should shine before others so they may recognize truth. Until heavens and earth pass away, not one letter of natural law shall fail until all is fulfilled. Those who kill without cause of self-defense or legal mandate are guilty, as are those who spread harm through speech or actions. Only justice aligned with natural order brings sound judgment. If right, do not appease adversaries, the judge will rule in your favor. You find justice through self-realization and helping others understand. Concerning adultery, intercourse outside marriage will be addressed by courts as unworthy of human dignity, contemptible, and against nature's laws. If an eye or thought causes annoyance, remove it. It is better to destroy one part than corrupt the whole. You were taught an eye for an eye, but exercise justice by natural law's logic, offering love or due in punishment where nature demands. Give to honest petitioners, but turn away dishonest borrowers. Love neighbor as self, but hate enemy. Misunderstands. Practice compassion and discernment by natural law's reason and perception. Offer your love where it is warranted and reserve judgment where the laws of nature demand neutrality. Pursue wisdom and knowledge, for through learning you become perfected in spirit as is the design of creation. Over successive lives, cultivate your spirit and consciousness to develop to their highest potential so that you become one with the divine. Conduct your devotion mindfully. Choose your communications guided by reason, logic, and the behaviors that sustain nature. When you give to others, do so privately, unlike those who make public displays to attract praise. Seek no recognition for your generosity, lest you forfeit its purpose and meaning. In prayer, avoid ostentatious acts intended solely for attention and self-aggrandizement. Instead, call upon the omnipotence of spirit through focused contemplation, not empty rituals or superstitions that confuse true understanding. The divine spirit within needs no rituals or props, though humans benefit from comprehending its grandeur. Pray then, communing directly with the infinite power of spirit. Should direct communion elude you, a sacred symbol may aid connection. But emulate not those who worship idols or rituals alone, believing the divine confined within. Know that the omnipotence of spirit dwells eternally within, regardless of physical aids. Pray as an enlightened soul. A simple prayer follows. Spirit of perfection, may your will and power flow through me in harmony with nature's design. Sustain me in understanding my shortcomings and living by truth. Guide me away from harm and confusion, delivering me from error. For within me, as in all things, your kingdom, strength, and wisdom reign forever. Amen. When you pray to your spirit, it will provide guidance and insight. Have confidence that through spiritual reflection and contemplation, you can gain understanding. However, believing false doctrines that separate your power, spirit, and knowledge from within yourself will only lead to confusion. Relying on external idols or chants will occasionally seem to work but lacks true comprehension. Wisdom exists where knowledge of truth is put into practice and natural laws are respected. With awareness and discernment, embracing wisdom and acting with compassion without doubt empowers positive change in accordance with natural order. Develop spiritual and mental proficiency so your consciousness becomes strengthened. When knowledge and truth guide your spirit and mind, infinite potential emerges. With trust in spiritual process, prayers and intentions manifest appropriately. However, focused development better ensures alignment, making prayer unnecessary. The key to effective spiritual reflection is feeling and visualization. Know that to achieve anything, one must first have the will to do so. This is nature's way. Humans are meant to progress spiritually. Only those serving real truth and learning deserve honest reward. When fasting for health and expanded awareness, do so for inner growth, not external image. Keep motivations pure so as not to lose benefits. Likewise, do not excessively pursue earthly possessions vulnerable to damage or theft. Instead, cultivate spiritual and mental treasures through wisdom where nothing is lost and all belongs to you. For where your priorities lie, so does your heart. True riches come from knowledge and discernment. Your eye is the light of your body. When your eye is clear, your entire body will be illuminated. But if your eye is clouded, your whole body will be darkened. If the light within you is now dim, how great then will be the darkness? No one can serve two masters equally. Either he will be devoted to the one and disregard the other, or he will be committed to the one and despise the other. You cannot be devoted to both spirit and material gain. Focus on gaining knowledge of your spirit, and also on what you will eat, drink, and how you will clothe yourself. For are not spirit, life, and body more important than all the treasures in the world? The human spirit, which seeks truth and understanding, cannot preserve its earthly existence without the body, because both are interconnected. Thus, you should seek to increase your knowledge for your spirit's benefit, understand the laws of life, and ensure food, drink, and clothing for your body. Consider the birds in the sky. They do not plant or harvest, nor do they store food in barns, yet creation sustains them. Are you not more valuable than they? Consider the birds in the sky. They consume harmful insects, have feathers for clothing, yet lack a spirit capable of continual growth. They fulfill their purpose, yet are sustained and clothed by creation. Are you not more valuable than they? You can think independently through free will, work independently, and independently procure food, drink, and clothing for your bodies. Behold the lilies of the field as they grow. They neither toil nor spin, yet the lilies too fulfill their role, giving pleasure to the eye with their beauty. I tell you, even King Solomon in all his riches and splendor was not adorned as one of these. Creation nourishes and clothes the grass of the field, which today stands and tomorrow is used as fuel. Should you not do much more for yourselves? The grass fulfills its role by providing forage and fuel, but are you not of far greater worth than grass, O you of little understanding? Therefore, care for the wisdom and knowledge of your spirit, and ensure you do not suffer from lack of food, drink, or clothing. If you hunger, thirst, or lack clothing, then wisdom and knowledge will be crowded out by worry. First seek knowledge of your spirit, then meet your bodily needs of food, drink, and clothing. Therefore, prepare for tomorrow will take care of itself. It is enough that each day has its own challenges, so you must not also be at the mercy of physical needs. Judge not unfairly, lest you be judged unfairly. For with whatever judgment you judge others, you yourself will be judged, and with whatever measure you use, it will be used for you. Judge according to the logic and laws of nature, which are from creation itself, because only they possess truth and rightness. Why do you notice the splinter in your brother's eye and not the beam in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, "Wait, I will remove the splinter from your eye when you have a beam in your own eye"? You hypocrite, first remove the beam from your own eye, then you will see clearly to remove the splinter from your brother's eye. First learn the laws of nature and of creation, and their logic, before judging and condemning others or wishing to see their fault. Through understanding the laws of nature and of creation, first learn to recognize your own faults, so that you can then correct the faults of others. Do not give what is holy to dogs, or throw your pearls before swine, or they will trample them under their feet, then turn and tear you to pieces. In other words, do not share what is valuable with those who do not recognize its worth, because they will not appreciate it and will harm you. For their understanding is limited and their spirit clouded and weak. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Which of you, if your child asks for bread, will give a stone instead? Or, if they ask for a fish, will give a snake? So if you then, being wicked, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your heavenly Father give good things to those who ask? In everything, do to others as you would have them do to you. This is the teaching of the prophets. Most importantly, beware of those who would deny you access to wisdom and understanding, for they speak only to gain power over you and seize your possessions. Fasting and spiritual growth. Fasting serves to benefit both physical and spiritual health. As the old saying goes, one should not place a new patch on an old garment, as the patch will tear away once more. Similarly, new wine should not be put into old wineskins, lest the skins burst and the wine spill out, ruining both. Instead, new patches and new wineskins allow both to last. Jesus' healing of the blind man occurred when the man called out to him in faith. When Jesus touched his eyes and said, "According to your faith, be it done to you," the man's sight was restored. The disciples of Jesus were given knowledge of how to drive out unclean spirits, allowing for healing of sickness and infirmity. The laws of nature stem from creation, and the creative spirit within humans embodies life. Understanding the power of the Spirit, which resides in each person, can be likened to wielding a sword of knowledge. As the path of truth and wisdom is long, it takes time to fully comprehend. All who seek knowledge and truth will find refreshment for the spirit. New teachings offer enlightenment, and within them, one will find peace and lightness of burden. Violating natural laws. Violating the laws of nature through adultery, fornication, or unnatural relations is wrong. Those who engage in such acts for payment or pleasure alone shall be exiled. Unbetrothed persons betting casually in disgrace, without love, shall also be punished as unworthy. Relations between those of the same sex violate life's purpose and natural order. No animal behaves as humans do in this way. Additional violations. Sexually abusing children, incest, bestiality, marrying a divorced person guilty of adultery, abandoning a woman with child, rape, violence against another, and destroying a spouse's well-being are all acts that violate natural law and human decency. The only valid reasons for divorce are adultery or endangerment of a family member's life, body, or consciousness. Those at fault for divorce shall face consequences. Conclusion. With adherence to rational, natural laws that have sustained humanity for millennia, justice and peace can expand for all. Overpopulation threatens what the earth can support. Unless balance is found, wars, plagues, and mass deaths may result. All must work towards spiritual and physical well-being within nature's bounds. The Sabbath. Resting on the Sabbath. The rule that the Sabbath should be kept holy stems only from human laws and lacks logical foundation, as many man-made rules contradict the laws of nature. It is therefore a human-created rule that the Sabbath should be observed and no work done on that day. But it escapes reason since this teaching derives from the human mind alone. No Sabbath is truly holy, and no law of nature dictates prohibiting work on the Sabbath. Thus, Sundays are like any other day of the week, available for work. Nature does not observe the Sabbath as holy. Every Sunday, nature rotates the stars through the heavens, regulates the sun, winds, and rains, and nourishes all creatures on earth. It keeps rivers within their banks, and everything proceeds normally on Sunday, just as on other days of the week, as nature intends. But are not humans greater than all other creatures and plants? Thus, they are masters over all when following the true laws. No will can surpass nature's will, which reveals itself through these laws. But nature's laws have been valid yesterday, today, and will be tomorrow, the next day, and forever. Thus, the laws also determine and predetermine future events that must come to pass. Life and knowledge of truth are only valuable and good when achieved through one's own thinking, or resolving mysteries in parables. Currently, humans know little and have no insight, unaware of nature's laws and the power of spirit. First, humans must learn to recognize truth and live by nature's laws, gaining knowledge and spiritual strength. To those with understanding, more will be given so they have abundance, but from those with none, even what they have will be taken. If one hears the word of truth about spirit and its laws, but fails to understand, the evil one will come and steal what was sown in their mind. This refers to those sown by the path. But those sown on rocky ground hear the word and accept it with joy at first. Still, the path to wisdom and truth is long, as is complying with nature's obvious laws. The spiritual kingdom is like a mustard seed planted by a man in his field, the smallest of seeds, but grows larger than all plants, becoming a tree for birds to roost. Nowhere is a true prophet less respected than in their home and family. Never doubt the power of your spirit, which as part of nature knows no limits. Therefore, never doubt your knowledge or abilities when logic proves nature's law is true and right. And great are those also coming from the depths of space, with the greatest being the spiritual leader of 3 human lineages known as God. However, above God stands nature, whose laws he faithfully follows and respects. Thus he is not omnipotent, as only nature itself can be. This level of godliness represents the highest spiritual development a pure spirit form can achieve, before ultimately merging with nature to become one. Thus limits are set even for one called God, superior to emperors and kings. Since people believe in God, they do not know nature's reality. God is vastly superior in consciousness, knowledge, wisdom, logic, and love, 1,000 times greater than any person on earth. But he is not nature itself, which is infinite and formless. Thus, even God is one of nature's creatures, who according to illogical human views has no beginning or end. The sole spiritual power is nature itself, and never any human. Many will never taste even a little of spiritual knowledge in their lives, so they will learn in their next life. The human spirit is naturally ignorant until gaining knowledge through thought and inquiry. A person's spirit is not a human creation, but part of nature given to humans. It must be made knowledgeable and perfected to ultimately merge with nature in constant evolution and growth, advancing through learning. Human development is a timeless process, as is the human spirit. People are meant to perfect their spirit so that life may be lived to its fullest potential. Even when mistakes are made, this follows natural laws of learning and growth. From mistakes, people gain insight, knowledge, and wisdom, which allows their spirit to develop. In turn, their spirit strengthens their ability to act. Without making mistakes, it would be impossible to build the logic, understanding, knowledge, compassion, and wisdom needed to cultivate one's spirit. Therefore, a mistake that facilitates spiritual insight, knowledge, and progress should not be punished. Similarly, there is no inherent punishment in this life or beyond for such a mistake. To punish a mistake that furthers understanding and learning would contradict natural and universal principles. When a mistake aids in insight, knowledge, and self-improvement, there is no retribution in this life or any other. Thus, people live with the goal of perfecting their spirits through gaining understanding from mistakes to live as they are meant to. Unless one embraces childlike curiosity and openness, greatness of spirit cannot be attained. Those who actively seek truth, thirst for knowledge, and explore life with wonder like a child will achieve their highest potential. But those who do not heed this truth and instead follow misguided teachings, refusing to search for or find understanding, would be better off submerged in the depths of the sea with a burden tied around their neck. Truly, without an inquisitive spirit in pursuit of meaning, life lacks fulfillment. It is best to separate close-minded individuals from true seekers of knowledge and understanding, lest they hinder willing learners. Those unwilling to reason will likely reconsider obstructing growth once removed. Most importantly, ensure you do not become one who is physically sound but spiritually stagnant or misguided. If a neighbor embraces a flawed view, privately share your perspective on their error. If they listen, you have helped your neighbor. If they remain closed, do not trouble your own mind further, as continued engagement would be futile. It is better to allow unreasonable people to experience natural consequences than confuse one's own thinking. The heavens themselves would dissolve before an unreasonable person could be taught reason. Be wary of such closed minds. Cultivate wisdom and comprehension to perfect your spirit and follow life's principles. People were never inherently perfected in spirit, and thus have never fallen from natural order. Each individual spirit exists specifically to refine itself through gaining understanding. This allows the spirit to unite with the universal whole as destined by natural laws, whereby existence expands inwardly and outwardly through perfection. As the spirit within is unified, so the cosmos is unified within itself as the sole power, outside of which nothing exists. In itself, the natural order is pure spirit and infinite strength, being singular and eternal. Consider only natural order as omnipotent, for it alone remains constant through all things and timeless. Leaders and authorities are transitory, but the natural way endures. Laws of governance aim to maintain social harmony, but life's and spirit's principles are everlasting and consistent. Likewise, the individual spirit, a fragment of the universal spirit, is everlasting. For how could existence cease to be? Thus, at life's end, the spirit lives on, moving to the next phase of learning. Greater spiritual wisdom gained through conscious growth empowers the spirit to determine its own future return and activities. When people lack resolve, their rules lack resolve and resemble confusion. When presuming above natural principles, people must impose flawed directives, leading others astray. Self-imposed laws breed harm and evil, and as evil spreads beyond control, humanity loses governance. Rules prove meaningful only when grounded in reason and common sense, requiring wisdom and understanding. Human directives lack power without foundation in universal principles, as wise governance derives from them. Wisdom is gained through understanding the laws of nature. However, if individuals do not seek knowledge, they will remain ignorant. The wise accept what is past and cannot be changed. In contrast, fools dwell on past negatives, increasing their own suffering. Those with wisdom harm no other beings without cause. Yet some with little awareness mistake harm for help or sorrow for joy. Many lack dedication to learning. As a result, they embrace folly and vice. The dishonest, irritable, greedy, unethical, rude, or angry will experience distress due to their lack of consciousness. With daily growth in awareness, people progress steadily. Wisdom benefits all. Free will and happiness come through one's created nature, but these mean nothing without spiritual power. Honor natural laws by recognizing, following, and embodying them in your life. Wisdom surpasses any sense, ignorance any darkness, and spiritual might any terror. Greater happiness exists not than wisdom, truer friend than knowledge, swifter savior than spiritual power. While individuals govern themselves, they do not decide life or death. Life's purpose allows living fully to pass on with growth. However, suicide contradicts natural law and order, improperly sitting in judgment. One possesses authority only over their own conduct. Suicide demonstrates deplorable cowardice and irreverence towards creation. Abiding natural law means correct, thriving existence. Yet perfection comes through embracing creation universally at life's end. As all within originates from and belongs to creation, spiritual development perfects unity with it. Act with creation's presence in mind. The wise impose no beliefs, lessening truth's value. Instead, focus on consciousness and spiritual progress within, cultivating harmony first. Eliminate all opposing creative forces through uprooting ignorance within yourself. Let creation prevail. Humanity should cultivate the ability to discern right from wrong and perceive reality objectively. This will enable wise, fair, and lawful conduct in accordance with natural and universal principles. It is important to recognize what is true versus false, valuable versus worthless, and aligned with the order of the cosmos. People must become a united global community, harmonizing with the greater whole to explore the mysteries of the universe through cooperation and shared progress. Live lawfully and sustainably. However much suffering exists, the creative power within each person is infinitely greater and can overcome all challenges when awakened. Those focusing solely on physical existence remain distant from their inner spirit and disconnected from natural order. Deeper peace comes through dedicating oneself to universal truths. Human happiness lies in seeking and finding truth through knowledge, wisdom, and actions that uphold life-affirming value. Only by experiencing life's ups and downs can we develop our inherent potential for consciousness and service. Capabilities expand through daily practice and perseverance. Until unifying with the greater whole, fear of the unknown inhibits transcending mortality's limits. With profound understanding of perfection and oneness comes gradual refinement. Rather than impulse, life is best navigated through reason and compassion according to natural and ethical principles. A new era of progress belongs to visionaries who courageously share these teachings unaltered. The creative source remains above all, ever evolving through its manifestations to attain greater harmony. Initially, each soul is a blank slate. Living provides opportunities to learn and grow in wisdom. What was once unfamiliar can become familiar through rebirth and accumulated insight across multiple lifetimes. Ultimately, the soul reintegrates with the infinite through self-realization, having fulfilled its purpose of self-perfection through experience. Thus does life continually renew and enrich itself on ever-ascending levels of understanding. Rest and regeneration. All living things require periods of rest and regeneration. Creation itself follows this natural rhythm, alternating between productive work and restorative slumber. As with human beings, who divide their time between labor and repose, creation engages in cycles of activity and dormancy. However, the temporal scales differ, as creation operates according to spiritual laws transcending physical existence. While material life is finite, the spirit endures eternally. Creation itself originated from the absolute, the timeless and changeless source of all being. Emerging in successive stages from the highest planes of being down through progressively manifest expressions, the first formed entity was our universe, the field of universal consciousness within which all phenomena arise. Creation's rhythms are governed by profound cosmological principles discernible through reason and intuition. Central to these is the sacred number 7, which delineates creation's periods of productivity and rest at macrocosmic scales beyond human comprehension. The wise understand that after 7 great cycles of creative works, creation enters 7 cycles of slumber, during which no forms exist save creation itself in dormancy. Upon awakening, a new phase of manifestation commences, as creation brings forth matter, stars, planets, and living beings to inhabit them for another 7 great cycles. Then the generative work ceases, as creation again rests for 7 cycles of solitude and silence. This pattern of alternating stillness and stirring repeats eternally, according to the sevenfold structure of time. All life and being originate from the absolute as a singular totality. While diversity appears to the senses, an underlying unity connects all things. Spirit and flesh, though distinct aspects, comprise a single entity. Teachings of multiplicity or division contradict creation's law of oneness. True wisdom discerns the falsehood of separation and perceives all existence as a harmonious whole. When humanity aligns with this truth, miraculous works become possible through the power of unity. Humans should look upward to the stars, where majestic peace and grandeur reign supreme. An immutable law and order govern the infinite and everlasting changes that take place there over days, months, years, centuries, millennia, and beyond. Humans should also look downward upon Earth, where the activity of creation is endless becoming and passing away, and life and existence evolving toward ever newly developing forms. It is important to recognize that humans live not only on Earth, but also within the boundless expanse of the universe, and that their spirits transcend the material world to connect with another realm beyond ordinary physical senses. This ethereal world is the true home of the spirit. Therefore, humans would be wise to continuously broaden and deepen their knowledge, love, truth, logic, freedom, peace, harmony, and wisdom, so that their spirits may be perfected and lifted into union with creation. Those who understand this message and gain insight through wisdom will awaken to the obligation of aligning their lives with their eternal destiny of perpetual change toward creation. When people are honest and seek truth, they will hold no preconceived opinions or prejudices. The wise are aware of the law of everlasting flux and change. Therefore, they endeavor to adjust to the grand scheme of events in progress, appreciating creation's laws that existence's cycles must unfold as ordained. Wherever life reveals itself, it is governed by the invisible mystery that brings about constant change, which is eternal. But those who disregard or fail to recognize timeless, everlasting laws and truths must accept the dire consequences of their actions. The truth can be difficult to accept, yet it remains crucial for progress. Harsh words alone do not instruct. It is through open-minded reflection that wisdom grows. You have heard it said that one shall not take a life. However, justice depends on understanding the natural order and making decisions grounded in logic. When we recognize our fundamental interconnectedness, bias and error fall away. As the wise say, issues often have 2 sides that together form a higher unity. Duality exists only at the surface, at our core, and in cooperation. All is one. Good and evil, too, are one within themselves, and together, for such is the nature of being. Since even separate things retain their oneness, together they are also one under the universal principles. A human is a unified whole comprising 2 equal parts body and spirit that together constitute our singleness of being. To teach otherwise risks inaccuracy. The truths lie within nature's patterns, and there we should seek to comprehend with open and inquiring minds. Those who seek shall find answers that first shock, but then empower. As we come to see, the kingdom exists within and without. Greatness arises where nature takes its course unhindered. But human designs often introduce pettiness and disharmony through imbalance. While technology augments our abilities, we must not lose sight of the greater order or our place within it. As progress toward mastery continues, we risk forgetting to cultivate understanding, compassion, respect, well-being, reason, liberty, and harmony between all people. Our rallying cries should bring people together. Yet grasping for power through violence breeds only enslavement, suffering, and decline. Positions attained by such means will be wielded for oppression, not betterment. Though speaking of noble goals, the reality becomes hypocrisy and coercion. Before perfecting itself, humanity risks losing its way and obscuring truth with falsehoods. Many may descend into bestiality and purposelessness without guidance. While human progress has enabled remarkable achievements, unrestrained ambition risks harm. An over-reliance on acquisition, power, lust, addiction, and greed often comes at the expense of nature and our shared well-being. When we elevate human intellect above natural laws and eternal truths, it breeds confusion and self-deception. Prioritizing narrow human perspectives over creation's wisdom invites conflict. Attempting external control divorces us from our essence and humanity. Through exploitation and deception, distrust spreads where trust and truth once flurried. The heroes then are those who destroy most, as discord permeates lives lacking wholeness. Nature's laws make clear the consequences of imperfection, sickness, misery, injustice, and their effects. For permanence, truth, and wisdom endure only in the timeless and everlasting. As stewards of this world, we must recognize our role in sustaining balance. Yet this cycle also brings opportunity for learning and growth. In time, by reconnecting with eternal values and natural order, harmony can be restored. Rather than limitations, we should seek the expansive consciousness that knowledge, logic, and truth provide, and from them, wisdom. Countless guides await those who observe with open eyes and learn from experience. Progress happens gradually, through serious striving for perfection. Natural laws serve all who seek unlimited truth and wisdom therein. By mastering our orientations and cultivating spiritual powers, we can perfect ourselves. Our focus need not dwell on physical misery alone, but on reality's greater design, the spirit and existence of creation itself. Humans shall adhere to ethical principles that promote prosperity, peace, and equal rights. Outdated laws establishing male authority over women contradict these aims, as women possess equal intrinsic worth and deserve equal treatment under justice. In marriage, a husband shall provide financial security for his wife through a payment held in trust for her benefit. The amount will be based on her health, knowledge, abilities, and likely productive lifespan to prevent want. However, this payment serves as a safeguard, not purchase of the wife. Marriage requires both parties be mentally competent and capable of upholding marital obligations as defined by law. A marriage contract formalizes only upon the husband's provision of financial security for the wife. If no payment is made as agreed, the husband must still support all the wife's needs. Divorce requires a legal certificate. Any separation without grounds of adultery constitutes adultery, as does remarriage to a person divorced for cause. Oaths undermine integrity and trustworthiness by invoking impermanent or uncontrolled subjects. Let your words simply be yes or no, as anything beyond risks dishonesty. The principles of natural law and divine commandments alone establish lasting, correct rules for both spiritual and worldly affairs. As humans derive from and remain subject to these higher authorities, no other laws or mandates rightfully supersede or contradict them. To do so introduces faulty human logic where perfection already exists. Therefore, respecting and upholding the natural and divine precepts best serves prosperity, justice, and peace for all. The laws say that no event or situation justifies suicide, and this includes suicide carried out by another person such as a hired murderer or mercy killer. Regardless of how much guilt a person may incur, or how heavy their load or burden is, they nonetheless have no right to determine their own death. Hence, if a person escapes from guilt or a mistake by committing suicide, he flees from cognizance and responsibility and must learn to be cognizant and accountable in another life. The spiritual kingdom is like the man who planted good seeds in his field. But while he slept, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the good seeds and went away. As the plantings grew and bore fruit, the weeds also appeared. Then the servants came to the sower and said, "Master, did you not sow good seed in your field? Where have the weeds come from?" He spoke to them, "An enemy has done this." Then the servant said, "Do you want us to go out and pull up the weeds?" He replied, "No, lest you uproot the good fruit when you pull up the weeds. Let both grow together until the harvest, and near harvest time I will tell the reapers, first gather the weeds and bind them in bundles, that they may be burned, and the ashes strewn over the field so that the soil will be nourished. but gather the good fruit and stack it for me in my barn. For both grow side by side, the weeds and the good fruit. The weeds hinder the good fruit from growing, yet later the weeds will become compost and nourish the ground. Were it not for the weeds being made into nourishment for the soil, the good fruit could not grow, since it needs nourishment. A continual restlessness exists within humans, because they have a premonition that creation is their fate and destination. Humans may be great, wise, and good, yet this is not sufficient, for they can always become greater, wiser, and better. There may be no limits to love, peace, and joy, because the present state must always be exceeded. A love that is unlimited, constant, and unfailing is unconditional, and is a love whose fire is so powerful, it burns away all impurities, evil, and hatred. Such a love is creation's love and has been predestined since the beginning of time. Since this is the ultimate destination for human beings, they must take steps to guarantee that this will come to be, for this is their destiny. But as yet, humans do not understand the wisdom of these teachings. It becomes adulterated everywhere on earth. In their ignorance, humans are falsifying the teachings in many ways and forms, so they are becoming diffused and unintelligible. Whosoever with intention violates one of the smallest of the laws or directives and teaches the people falsely will be called the smallest, but whosoever spreads the teachings truthfully will be called great and will receive the reward of the Spirit. If your righteousness does not exceed that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will not receive the reward of the Spirit and of life.